Welcome back to Patroma Therapy, Season 2, Autumn, Episode 3, The Sun. It is early morning here in Dallas, and the sun is barely starting to rise. We're going to be discussing Helios, the sun in Greek mythology. There's also references to Amun-Re in Egyptian mythology. And quite often the sun is depicted as riding in a chariot. So what do you think about when you think about the sun and autumn and the changing seasons?
I don't know. I'm a little bit upset that the summer is over, but I'm glad that the autumn is here. And when I think what I think about the sun, when they ask me what I think about the sun, somehow I think if it really revolves around the Earth or the Earth revolves around the Sun and stuff like that, not like simple man terms. And feels sad. Yeah, I know. It feels sad.
You're sad. It's okay. It's okay to be sad. You're in therapy.
Also, the sun is very important. Let me just speak my mind. I'm like thinking out loud. When you say the sun, the first association that comes to mind is like how important it is in photography. If you make like a picture still, it's very important for you to have enough light in it, and the sun is what provides it. And now your turn.
When you're taking photos, if the sun is at your back, then it shines on your person or the building. If the sun is in your face, you get kind of like blinded.
That too,
but
yeah. What I meant is that the light is very important, and the more light you get, the better a picture will be.
That sounds good. Good. Well, there's two different times that are there's lots of different times related to the sun. We have sunrise and we have sunset. There's lots of songs about sunrise, sunset, and lots of poems and stories about the sun. One of my favorite poems is by Andrew Marvell. It's called To His Coy Mistress, and he's talking about he wishes she would hurry up and stop stalling him because time's passing, and he writes about time as flying in a chariot. At my back I always hear time's winged chariot hurrying near, and yonder all before us lie deserts of vast eternity. So yeah, the sun is also, I think, related to the ages of man.
Yeah, but
we're a baby, we're an adult, we become old.
Absolutely. But what fascinates me is that I'm not sure if you know it, but it takes I think 10 minutes for light to reach Earth from the sun. So when you see when you look at the sun, it means you see how it was 10 minutes ago.
I thought that was the stars. The stars, we don't really see them because the light already burned out.
Oh,
I don't ever look at the sun.
But the sun is the star.
Yeah, okay, you're not supposed to be looking at the sun. You got to stop that.
I know, yeah, I know. And when you look into the sun for real long, or when you read about the sun, apparently it has a corona. Did you know that the sun has a layer called corona?
Like a ring around it. Yeah.
Corona.
And then I think there's different kinds of eclipse and things like that. Well, all these are tied to, superstitions and traditions.
Corona?
Well, just like the eclipse and what does it mean?
Oh, eclipse maybe. But I'm thinking, yeah. I'm saying about corona, which is very, very, in our times we have coronavirus, that's COVID.
Right.
And the sun has corona, that makes it funny.
Well, it is certainly coincidental. It's certainly coincidental. Speaking of corona, it is a type of beer, and actually they were stopping producing it for a while, but I think it's becoming popular again. In Dallas, we're in the fall season, and it was like 90 degrees yesterday. People were out bicycling and rowing on the lake. It was a beautiful day. We just think we just had the autumn equinox, equal day and equal night, so that was kind of cool.
Speaking of how they stopped producing it, that let me say that the sun will stop produce light in 6 billion years. I guess like it will die. The sun will die in 6 billion years, which is not good,
Well,
right?
the thing about humans, we are very much rooted in time, and we have a teleological way of looking at things. Like, what are the creation myths? What's going to happen after we die?
Right.
I mean, here you are sitting in Moscow wondering what's going to happen in 10,000 years. I mean,
I'm thinking about what's going to happen in 6 billion years.
Oh, 6 billion. Okay, sorry. I'm just thinking
It's
about
very important
groceries,
distinction. Yeah.
getting some groceries later this week, kind of wondering what's happening around the Great Lakes. I know that in the United States, the fall weather has started. We have a couple subscribers up in Philadelphia and outside of London. So, people are aware that we're in the fall season. The days are becoming shorter, and it's going to be dark, It's
Like,
going to be
well,
dark.
because absolutely, because a day without sunshine is like night. Speaking about the myth, and do you know that Icarus myth? I think it's a Greek myth.
Yeah, Icarus and Daedalus. Icarus decided to get some wings, and he wanted to experiment with flying, and he and his father built these wings, and they had the sin of pride. They're going to try to like fly up to the sun, but do you remember what the wings were made of?
Wax? No, somehow I think, or maybe
yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, so it was wax. So I know that these were men, and men are pretty smart, except for if you're flying near the sun being hot, and you got wax wings, that's just not going to work.
Yeah, I feel sad. Yeah, I know.
They fell into the sea.
Yeah. So, and you also mentioned eclipse, and I immediately thought of that song. Who was it? Bonnie Taylor? I guess Bonnie Taylor song, "Solar Eclipse of the Sun." Total eclipse of the sun. What was it like?
That's a great.
Every now and then I get a little bit lonely, and you're never coming around.
Yeah.
Total eclipse of the sun, or maybe I'm mistaken, but that was fun. That was one of my favorite at the time, like many years ago.
Yeah, there's love. I think the sun captures our imagination, as does the moon, and many mythologies have tapped into it. In French history, Louis XIV, called himself the Sun King.
Yeah, I remember.
And the whole idea of the divine right of kings, that he believed that he was chosen by God to rule, and that he derived his power from God. And after the French and then the American Revolution, there was a change in political thought that power derives from the people. It comes from the people and not from on high. So, gosh, we could keep talking forever.
Did you ever get the sunburn?
Yes, I also get sun spots. But when I travel, like Turkey or Greece or Italy, you get a good suntan if you're out day after day after day, and it's great. You go walking, you go swimming, you eat, you drink, and you're happy.
Yeah, but
how about you?
I hate sunburns. I love the sun, but I hate sunburn. I also hate melted chocolate, because whenever I have melted chocolate, it's always the sun to blame. And also when I get the sunburn, it's always the sun too. So it's like, I don't know, I hate and love it at the same time. Love and hate relations with the sun I have.
Yes, that's good. That's good, and it's good for you to acknowledge that here in therapy.
Yeah, I feel better. I bettered myself today.
Well, the last sun reference I want to mention is this Egyptian sun god. He was known as Ra, or R-A.
Yeah,
he
I know.
was identified with the noonday sun, and so he's depicted having a sun disk up above his head. and he's kind of like walking along, and yeah, he was very important in Egyptian mythology.
Absolutely, we should look it up. I mean, Egyptian mythology is full of very important figures related to sun, like Ra, I guess, or
Yeah,
Ray.
that's it.
Was
Yeah,
that him?
yeah,
Ray.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I pulled up something here. It says in the 5th century, that's 25th century BC, Re had become one of the most important gods in the Egyptian
Right.
religion, and he was the god of the sun, of order, of kings, and of the sky. So that's why I think the French monarchy, Louis XIV, got this idea that the sun shines down on everything, and the sun makes everything grow, and the sun is powerful. So he called himself the Sun King.
Yeah.
Well, we've
Speaking.
got a couple more episodes coming up. Would
Right.
you like to wrap it up with any more
No,
about the
please,
sun,
please,
or shall we
please,
just?
please do. Please do wrap it up yourself. I like the way you wrap it up.
Okay, well, we're wrapping up the sun. It's a little bit hot today, but we're going to be talking about being wound up, maybe about relaxing. Going to talk about the moon. Going to talk about bread, and maybe even about candy. So thank you for listening, and adios for now.
Adios. Okay.